Hi everyone, and welcome to the Aquarius Weekly Tarot Bite reading for the week of August 14th through the 20th. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot reading for Soul Illumination. So hi everyone and welcome. My name is Lauren. Now, Aquarius, I'm going to just put this out there right off the bat. I recorded your video a couple days ago, and when I went to upload it, it glitched, and I don't know what happened, but the whole thing just deleted itself. Never had experienced that happening, so I'm recording a second reading for you fresh. So apparently whatever came through in that reading was not meant for you, so I'm hoping that this reading will have something that resonates since I'm being forced to do it again. Now, this is a quick look at the energy for the week ahead for the sign of Aquarius. And we're basing this reading on the two themes that came up in the general collective reading, which were released on Sunday evening, if you're interested in viewing that full reading for, again, the general collective. Now, the two themes that came up were the never-ending story and the 10 of Pentacles. Now, how those really came through in the reading was that the never-ending story really focused on this week, all of us looking at that story that we've carried with us now up to this point, that it's time to really close that book and open a new one where we can start with a fresh version of who we are today and end that story that we've carried forward to this point that really now is not serving us anymore because it's based in fear, or it's based around a sense of failure or loss. And we get a chance now to really say, you know what, that story's done. I'm starting a new story. And possibly now we might actually be the person who we didn't think that story was going to end happily for, meaning that maybe that story was something like, I will never find a loving romantic partner because of all my past experiences. And now you get to be the hero of a new book in your series where that person does meet the love of their life. Or in this point moving forward, you now are going to be the person who is focused on fitness, and maybe you were never physically fit before, and now you get the chance to be the physically fit person, or you get to be the person who owns their own business, or you get to be the person who's liberated from working a job that they've been at for 40 years, something like that. So really keep that in mind this week as perhaps a little bit of those old stories kind of creep up, and you start to look at those and say, no, I am capable of doing this, or I'm not going to keep telling myself that I'm not worthy of love, or whatever comes through for you. The 10 of Pentacles, this is now looking at an expanded vision for our future self, but really based in the physical. The 10 of Pentacles is our legacy. It can represent anything that we have in the physical that we want to work towards building. All right, so I'm going to pull cards now to see exactly what's coming in for you, Aquarius, based on, first, we're looking at the never-ending story. So what is this story that needs to come to a close for you, Aquarius? Okay, so we have the Moon and the Five of Wands. There's a sense here with the Moon and the Five of Wands of the way being unclear. The Moon can represent kind of a shadowy element. It's what we can't see. And the Five of Wands that can be a card of chaos. It can be a card of competition. It can be a card where there's too many people in the mix and everybody's trying to, get their say in. But there's a sense here for some of you that with the Moon coming in and that feeling of the way is unclear or something's kind of hidden, there's also a sense with that when we think about Moon energy and how it can actually, like with the full moon as it's seen in this image, it's almost like it's pulling the tides forward. It's kind of pulling us on that emotional plane of our experience. And I get the feeling for many of you Aquariuses out there that there's a sense of maybe there's been a side to you that every time you tried to show your emotional self, it led to chaos, or you felt like this was the energy that you were constantly in a highly competitive energy, or an energy where every time you tried to follow that pull of your heartstring or that pull towards something, following your intuition, 'cause that's also what the Moon can be, is following your intuition. Can you walk this path on faith as you feel called to leave a comfort zone? There's a sense of, why are you feeling called? Why do you have this emotional connection to something, even though the way may be unclear, or even though the way may, not have 100% of a, end result in view. But the Five of Wands, I think for many of you, you might be sitting with, and it's just kind of coming through in this way. I wouldn't always say it like this, but I get the feeling that for some of you, you have been avoiding either conflict, or you've been avoiding competition. You've been avoiding maybe going out, because I can sometimes see the Five of Wands as getting back on the horse. This is where we might want to take a skill set. We have our wand, and our wand is our passion. It's how we choose to take action from what we're passionate about. And there's a sense of being able to say, okay, well, I'm going to take that back out there, and I'm going to go out and spar with somebody and see what my skill set is worth on the open market. This can even be where you're going to get back on the horse in the dating world, or you're going to get back on the horse in the work career world, or you're going to get back on the horse in a hobby, whatever it is, fill in the blank. But there's a sense here of maybe for some of you, you've pulled back for quite some time. It's almost like I get the feeling that you've been pulled back a little bit from pushing yourself. Maybe you kind of got into that place of something became routine, something was easy. And that sense of, if I go out there and I heed this call towards the new, it's going to be a little scary. It could feel chaotic. It's going to jumble things up. I might have to push myself a little harder. I might actually have to get competitive. And I think at this point, for many of you, there's now a story associated with that. Like, where maybe at a certain point in your life was so chaotic that you're like, I can't do that. And so I just need to focus on myself, or I need to focus on what is, need to focus on what works, get a routine in place, and just do it. And now you get to close the book on that part of your life and say, yeah, I did it. I created order out of chaos. I protected myself during a certain point in my life that I needed to kind of toe the line, or I wasn't ready yet to go out and get back on the horse. But now I am. Now I'm the person who's going to go out there and say, yeah, you know what? Even if I don't know what's going to happen, I'm going to get back out there and I'm going to just try it. I'm going to be the one to say, if I feel an emotional call towards something, I'm not going to look at it as bringing chaos into my life. I'm going to look at it as what it's going to actually show me about a skill set or a passion that I have that I haven't yet expanded upon. So that's something also that's very strongly coming through here, Aquarius. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull some additional cards for the Ten of Pentacles. We're looking at, what is this expanded vision for your future self? What is this? What do you want to build? What is that ultimate legacy you see for yourself starting today? If we think about today as that first page in that new book in our life series, what first sentence would you write today? And then what is the last sentence on the last page? And this is homework I've given everybody for the week. But what is that last sentence on the last page that you want to get to, if that's your Ten of Pentacles? And how are you going to start that first step today towards achieving or fulfilling that story, so that you can get to the end of the story and fulfill that last line? All right, so let's see here, Aquarius. We have Three of Cups. Okay, yeah, there's a sense of community, a sense of wanting to celebrate with others, wanting to have find others who meet you cup to cup on an emotional level. And the Ace of Swords. Yeah, I think for some of you, there's a realization happening around the fact that your Ten of Pentacles is associated with others, wanting that sense of community. And it's hard to have that sense of community. It's hard to have that camaraderie, those close relationships, if we're afraid of getting out there, if we're afraid of going out there, if we're afraid of also showing our true authentic self. And I think that there's a realization now that the legacy to have is these intimate connections, is celebration with others, is community, soul tribe, those people who are going to have your back. And that's the legacy. Maybe for some of you, you've been really focused on truly, even though the Ten of Pentacles does speak to focusing on the material legacy of what we want to achieve, there's also a sense to, maybe for some of you, you've been a little too focused on the physical. Maybe that was how you were maintaining stability in your life. You were building up to a certain point where you had enough money in the bank, or you were building up to a certain point where you had enough physical possessions. You needed a car, you needed a roof over your head. And now I get the sense that the next phase for you, Aquarius, is more about getting back out there, getting out of a comfort zone specifically, and really being able to understand that it's about connection. That yes, we can look to wanting to achieve a bunch in the physical, but if we don't have anybody to share it with, it's not worth a whole lot. So there's something here about maybe shifting a focus as to, it could even be networking for some of you this week specifically, because we're really looking at the week's energy. Obviously these readings kind of get broad at a certain point, but I have the feeling that this is a week where you could really meet somebody who might kind of open the door to helping you get back on the horse, or helping you get back out into the kind of competitive market. Or this could be like you're out there and you're now this week staying very much aware of just meeting new people and how you come across to others. And suddenly someone pops up and says, I normally wouldn't just say this to a stranger, but I have, a group that meets. We play softball or volleyball every Sunday. And hey, would you like to join that with me? We're looking for new members. And maybe you were the one who's been sitting there saying, man, I wish I could join like an intramural league. I'd love to get back into a sport I used to play a million years ago. And suddenly this person pops up and invites you to do something like this. And this could open up a whole new world of, again, access to people who are going to celebrate you as the person you are today. And that in line might lead to your ability to achieve a larger goal for yourself, but through the support of others. So there's a sense here of really getting into your emotional core in this next, I don't even want to say chapter, in this next book, again, in your life series. But also looking to see who you want to bring in to be the support system for yourself, and looking at that as the richness in life instead of maybe just so focused on maintaining stability in the physical. There's an opening up to community, to camaraderie. Beautiful energy this week for you, Aquarius. And again, the more we open up to it now, as Spirit is pointing this out, especially since this reading is the second go around, this, energy continues to build, right? So the seeds that are planted this week will continue to grow and will continue to expand. So keep that in mind. So it says turtle spirit, slow and steady wins the race. I love that. Number 62 breaks down to the number 8. And 8 is a number of personal empowerment, but ironically, and actually physical abundance. But I also think it's interesting, the number 6 and the number 2 together. The number 6 is the energy of love. It's also what we can create in the physical when we do so through the energy of love. And the number 2 is working in harmony with others. So there is a sense here of getting together with others, maybe eventually with the people you meet now or the people you are reconnecting with now. You will be able to create a lasting legacy of something with them, which is beautiful. But slow and steady wins the race. That is kind of the best advice I can give for somebody who is kind of going, maybe switching focus in their life or going back out there to get onto the horse in networking, maybe in your career path, or in networking to expand your social circle. That there's a sense here of it, you don't have to just throw yourself into it to the point where you get, social anxiety or something like that. It is slow and safe. Feel the call, trust your intuition, trust your emotions as well. If your emotions tell you, hey, I don't feel good when I go to this type of event or when I interact with someone in this way, then it's really looking at, then what do you feel called to do? What emotionally supports you as you start to kind of go outside of your comfort zone and into the world of everybody kind of doing their own thing? What is it? What's that one grounding thing within your emotional intuition, your emotional intuitive core? Where is it directing you? Who is it directing you to? Sometimes I'm noticing this myself in my own life, that sometimes I will focus on someone someplace and I don't know why, and then I'll see them again someplace, and then suddenly that person comes up to me out of the blue someplace else and I didn't even notice them. But it's like there's that feeling of like connectivity or connection. So could be coming in for you as well. But there is, again, a revelation around community, a revelation around sharing, celebration with others, and that's the true legacy that we all want to achieve in our life experience. All right, I will leave it here. I hope you all have a wonderful week ahead. This was a great reading. I'm glad I got a chance to redo it for you guys. If you'd like to book a personal reading, you can click on the link in the description box below to visit my website to see how you can book one. Otherwise, the full tarot scope for the month of August is up on my channel for each sign if you'd like to view that as well. It's about 50 minutes in length and goes very deep into the messages for August. And if you would like to subscribe to the channel to be notified when these videos are released weekly and monthly, I would so love it if you would do that. It means the world to me that I get a chance to do this because I so enjoy it. All right, bye Aquarius. Have a wonderful week.